despite these overwhelming majorities on both sides who want a two-state solution, we still haven't had one yet. Now, because this is a class on religion and politics, I feel like I need to add one extra problem to this issue, one that doesn't get talked about enough, but is equally, if not even more of an obstacle to peace than the Hamas suicide bomber or the radical, right-wing settler. And that is us, the United States of America. This is a country that is about 1/3 evangelical. So it's about 100 million people in the United States. The evangelical movement in the United States, for the most part, has coalesced around a handful of right-wing Christianist organizations. Remember, we've talked about Christianism in this class before. It's Christian religious nationalism. Now, again, this is not everyone, this is not all of them. In fact, honestly, if you just poll these 100 million evangelicals individually, they actually would probably say, yeah, of course, two states living side by side. Of course, that's, peace is better. But unfortunately, the organizations, the Pat Robertsons, the Jerry Falwells, the Mike Evans, the Ted Haggards, the people who actually are the pastors who run these major Christianist movements, focus on the family, the moral majority, the 700 Club, they have no interest in a two-state solution. In fact, they have been working really hard behind the scenes to make sure that there will never, ever be a Palestinian state, that all of the land will belong to Israel. Why? Not for any political reasons, not because they believed in some sort of political reciprocity or anything like that, but because they have this sort of conception of Christian apocalypticism, another word that we've used in this class before. Apocalypticism or eschatology is the study of the end times. Apocalypticism is the study of the apocalypse. Eschatology, the study of the last days. They do the same thing. But in their sort of warped apocalyptic mindset, they believe that the Bible says, it doesn't, but they believe that the Bible says that if the Jews can come back to Israel and reestablish the kingdom of David and rebuild the temple of Jerusalem, which was destroyed in 70, if they can do that, then that will usher in the end times and Jesus will come back. It's not a joke. They so fully believe this that they have spent billions of dollars in supporting these radical right-wing groups and in supporting the political campaigns of politicians in the United States who also have no interest in a Palestinian state. They have kept the United States from actually being a good bargainer, a real mediator between these two sides, because they don't want mediation. Now, of course, here's the irony of all this. If you believe this apocalyptic viewpoint, what it really means is that the first thing that Jesus does when he comes back is he kills all the Jews. That's what the book of Revelation says. First people to go are the Jews. And of course, the Jews, they don't take this very seriously. They're happy for the money. They're happy to sort of play along. They're like, yeah, right, rebuild the temple. Jesus, sure, bring the money. Bring it back. But this marriage, this sort of evil marriage of convenience that is formed between right-wing American evangelicals and right-wing settlers has probably been just as destructive as any suicide bomber or as any settler in the Israeli government has been to making sure that this doesn't happen. So where are we today? Well, we're in a situation, as I said, in which every single day what is supposed to be the future Palestinian state is being gobbled up by Israeli settlements. In a few years' time, maybe between 3 and 5 years, there will be no more Palestinian land. So the issue of a two-state solution will go out the window. There won't be a two-state solution anymore because there won't be any room for another state. It's all Israel. But the tragedy of that is not just for Palestinians. The tragedy of it is that demographers believe that by the year 2050, there will be more Arabs than Jews between the River Jordan and the Mediterranean Sea, the land bordering the Israel-Palestine. In fact, for every one Israeli child, 8 Palestinian children are born. Did you catch that? 8 to 1. And most of these Israeli children, not all of them, but most of them are, middle class or lower or upper middle class kids. A large majority of them, when they graduate from high school and they do their military duty, they come here to go to college. They come to UC Riverside, they go to UCLA, they go to Harvard, they go to Stanford. They come here, they don't go to college in Israel. We've got the best universities in the world. They come here. They come here, they get a 4-year bachelor's degree, and then they say, well, I'm going to stick around and get a master's degree. They get a master's degree. They've been here 6 years, 7 years, 8 years. They're doctors, they're engineers, they're lawyers. Do you think they're moving back to Israel? Hell no. They just stay. Life is good here. Why go back? Palestinians, even if they manage to get through high school, can't go to college. I mean, you have to be, because Palestinians can't travel. You can't go from village to village if you're a Palestinian. You stay in your own village. Unless the university is in your village, you're not going to school. And certainly, you're not coming to the United States. You're not going to Stanford. You're not going to UCLA. So not only is the child ratio way, way balanced towards the Palestinians, 1 for every 8. But also, most of these Israelis, not most of them, that's a mistake, but a great many of these Israelis ultimately immigrate out of Israel, where the Palestinians just stay. So, as you can imagine, very soon, there's going to be a lot more Palestinians than Israelis. And if there isn't a land for them, if there isn't a Palestine for them, guess what becomes Palestine? Israel. Let's go back 2 weeks. The principal problem that Israel was supposed to fix was that Jews were a minority everywhere in the world,